Hey friends, welcome back to OG Universe. Thank you so much for stopping by and spending some time with me as we take a look at the newest Superman in our collection. This is the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Justice League Task Force Built to Connect Darkseid Wave, and we're looking at our Superman. This Superman is definitely going to polarize a lot of people. It's going to be exciting because we got Superman on the brand new Crisis on Infinite body buck, which is absolutely stellar. Shazam is also using that body buck as well. And a lot of people are just not happy with this digitalization paint job. Now, as we've seen through the past other reviews we've done on the wave, Batman, Aquaman, and the Flash, the pixelization has been done extremely well. And I think it just brings a new kind of heightened paint scheme to these figures. Now, this one, I will say, it's really heavy on the pixelization, and it can be a little jarring up close. But before we dive into Superman, let's take a look at what he comes with and the packaging. So Superman back a little bit here. And for the packaging, we got this kind of classic 90s style artwork. We got the cross cell at the bottom. We got how to put your Darkseid figure together, who comes with what. On the side here, we have the Justice League Task Force and Blaze spine in this bright popping gold and yellow. Looks absolutely great. Love that classic Justice League signet as well. Looks fantastic. Really appreciate it. On the inside, you get a trading card artwork. We got a display stand for your Superman. Now mine, I put them on our special Superman display stand here. This display stand is from a DC Direct figure of Superman from probably almost 20 years ago. I remember finding this at a convention for $5, and I'm like, yep, I'll buy it. I would have bought as many as this guy would have had, but unfortunately, he only had the one, and it was definitely worth it. I cleaned it up, haven't had to retouch it with paint or anything. There's no scratches on it. This thing has been well taken care of, and it's a great addition to my collection. I wish McFarlane would do something like this for our collector series figures. You know, give a special display stand. Yeah, that silver embossed DC logo is okay. It sets it apart. But I want something like this. A really outstanding logo, an outstanding display stand to really emphasize this is a collector's edition figure, something special. Hopefully, doubtful, we'll see any kind of work on that from McFarlane Toys. I think they're going to stick with those traditional hockey disc display stands, and that's fine because they help keep that figure up, right? Now, in addition to our figure, we also got these massive legs for Darkseid. This is some really finely sculpted and painted legs. They look incredible. This dark, rich, saturated blue has a real satin finish to it. The gray looks great. And then in addition, you got these effect pieces, which I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of. I haven't really even put them on my figures because I really don't think I'll use them. But now, after seeing them a bit more and kind of playing around with it, I think I do want to add these to my epic battles. They could be cool. You know, these guys are doing Mortal Kombat. Maybe we'll see. So stay tuned for that. And if you haven't had the chance to subscribe, or it's your first time checking out my channel, I would really appreciate if you took the time to subscribe. We got a lot of stuff on the channel, a lot of different content. Got some toy shorts, epic battles, toy surgery, whole bunch of stuff going on. So if you like what you're seeing, I'd really appreciate a sub and definitely a comment, and let me know what's going on and what your thoughts and opinions are. I always love interacting with my viewers. It's definitely one of the funnest parts of having a YouTube channel, having great discussions and great comments, and of course, throw up a like if you feel so inclined. All right, so let's take a look at this Superman. So the Superman, yeah, it's on the new body buck. I'm loving that body buck. It has some great characteristics and a really proportionate Superman. It got some great build to him, some really broad chest action going on. The cape is a beautifully done cape. Something different with this cape among all other capes that have been released through DC Multiverse, and that is we have a wire at the bottom, a very strong wire at the bottom. I'm not sure how I feel about that because it does kind of just make it a little bit jumbled. A lot of stuff going on with this cape, really strong wires throughout the edges, which I appreciate. I don't know if it needs a wire at the bottom here, to be honest with you. We'll see. We'll play around with it a bit more when we take a look at some of the articulation on the figure. But I do appreciate the brand new head sculpt on this guy as well. We're not getting a recycled Action Comics head sculpt. It's a brand new head sculpt. So from a distance, I really like the way this figure looks. Pixelization doesn't bother me whatsoever at this distance. S logo looks really pretty darn good with a bit of extra color on it. Has a darker tone of almost like a maroon for some shading. The blue is a really nice blue. It's a dark saturated blue. I think that's more in line with some of the newer kind of on a DC Rebirth kind of Superman, which is okay. I don't mind that at all. The texturing, there isn't any. The blue, that's the highlights, the digitalized pixelization. It's bright. And I see a lot of people taking this Superman, getting some acetone, and just wiping off everything, including the logo. I don't think I want to do that, to be honest with you guys. I've kind of thought about it. I know in 2025, McFarlane Toys will produce a Superman using this body buck, probably brand new head sculpt, hopefully. And we're going to get that more contemporary look that you can make. But I think I really like the way this Superman looks, and it's definitely different on your shelf. You're going to see when we do some close-ups and when we do some comparisons that it's a unique Superman. Very distinctive. It's got the mullet 90s haircut, which I love. I don't know why. I just think it looks kind of cool to have Superman with long hair. The head sculpt, yeah, it's got a little bit too much red, so to speak. Too much color on his lips. I would probably tone that down a bit, maybe get some acetone for that. Just take the color off. But I really do like and appreciate the head sculpt. It's stern, it's angry, it's a fierce looking Superman head sculpt. Now we talked about the pixelization, and yeah, it's pretty hardcore and it's predominant on that S logo. All the way around on the shoulders, the forearms, the legs. Surprisingly, nothing really too extreme on the boots. You can't really even notice that. It's so subtle, but it's still kind of cool. But this buck is what wins me over. It's such a strong Superman buck. It's so well done, and I'm very excited to see Superman's in 2025 using this body buck and just seeing what we get. What we get with new head sculpts, what we get with new colors. So it's very exciting. I'm very happy about that. Now for the cape, we don't get an S logo. And I guess maybe in the video game you didn't have an S logo. I'm not sure. I've never played this video game, Justice League Task Force for Super Nintendo and I believe Sega Genesis. Going back a long time, probably like, I think almost 30 years maybe, when this video game was released. So yeah, I'm not going to be playing this game, but the cape is really a great fabric. It has such a nice feel to it. It's not starchy, it's not cheap, it's not thin and transparent. It's just a really well done cape. Strong, strong wires running through it so we can get your Superman in just any kind of action pose with the wind blowing anywhere you want, making that look just awesome to have fun with. And like I said, it's just an extra point of articulation on this figure. And when you're doing action figure photography or setting up your displays for your shelving, man, just having a cape on a superhero that's got that wire, it is so impressive. It's so awesome to just give this dynamic range of movement and motion. Love it. So let's get back to some of the pixelization. So it's on the belt, kind of got this real bad paint job if you think about it, look at it, but it's supposed to be this digitalization. And I can see a lot of people being irked by it and not happy with that. I'm actually okay. I'm actually okay with this Superman's look because it's so distinct, so unique. And man, it's just a preview of things to come with McFarlane Toys using this incredible body buck for Superman. We're going to be seeing it on Icon very soon. That GameStop exclusive here in Canada from Milestone Comics. I'm looking forward to that. I wish it was more of the classic look, because you imagine that guy had that really billowing cloth wired cape. Holy, that could be incredible. But we'll talk about Icon when we get that figure in hand. It's been pre-ordered along with these other figures that from that wave. And we're going to be talking about pre-orders in another video. I put a contention with it and how difficult it is sometimes. That's for another video. Let's talk about Superman. So we've discussed some of the points and highlights of this figure. I think it's going to be a 50-50 kind of snatch, so to speak. If you like Superman, you like this kind of different, distinct Superman, I think you're going to like it. I think you're really going to appreciate the artistic endeavors to make this Superman stand out and look unique. If you hate this kind of pixelization, get some acetone, get rid of all this color that's on the bodysuit, and, you know, customize it, do some toy surgery, and create the Superman you want. I can see it going both ways. So there you go. That's my thoughts and opinions on that. But let's take some of the articulation that this Superman has. Get a nice look at that Superman head sculpt. Looks really great. A little too much on the lips there for color though, but man, I just really like this sternness to him. It looks great. He can look down quite a bit. Side attitude, he's got that going on. He can look up to a great extent because of the hairline. Really long hair for Superman. It's the mullet look, right? So it does impede the articulation, unfortunately. It does have the spacer joints for extra range of motion, and I really love that extra range of motion on the Crisis Superman. It's so damn posable, really well done. The bicep cut here integrated with that shoulder joint perfectly. Double jointed ratcheted elbows. Got the ball joints at the wrist. He doesn't come with any extra hands, but I think you have enough Supermans in your collection probably that the ball peg should work, or swap them out, but we can have some extra hands. He does have torso articulation that doesn't move too much forward, a little bit back, a ball joint at the waist. He has ball joints at the hips, double jointed ratcheted knees, toe articulation, sculpted ball joints going on there, ankle rocker, and pivot. So he's got tons of articulation. You're gonna have no problem getting your Superman into some crazy, fun action poses. Here, those ratchets, nice and tight, and just getting that Superman. That's cool. Just getting some action flight poses. This flight stand would have been greatly appreciated as well, but hey, I got enough that I'm pretty cool to have him in action poses on that flight stand with my collection, but an additional one would have been great. And yeah, you can get him into some great poses, some great flight poses, and just that cape, man. That cape is just so well done. Oh, I love it. So, oh yeah, the ratchets are good and tight on this figure. I really appreciate tight ratchets, man. Once they loosen up, well, I haven't had the experience of them loosening up on my figures, but once that does happen, man, they are pretty tough to fix. You got to do the clear nail polish or glue kind of thing, which you got to be careful of. But yeah, this Superman, it's getting some very high remarks from me. I really do enjoy the way this guy looks, posability, absolute presence he has. It's just fantastic. And let's bring in some other Superman characters, some figures, some Supermans in the collection that are similar to this guy. There you go, Soups. We gotta bring in your compatriot here. So this here is the initial release of this body block, and that is from the Crisis on Infinite Earthswave with your build to connect monitor. I love this Superman. The head sculpt just wasn't to my likings 100%. It was really large, and I think there's some better head sculpts we could use to build out a more classic Earth 2 Superman if you really wanted to. But I put the Action Comics Superman head on here, not Action Comics 1000, but Action Comics, and it looks great. I love this lighter shade of blue. I'm calling it Metropolis blue because it's nice, happy, and sunny, and just a really nice shade of blue to have on a classic Superman. He looks fantastic. Cloth wired cape. The only thing about this cloth wired cape that I'm not totally digging is that extremely large S logo. It's way too big in my opinion, but it suits the character because that's how he was represented in the comics. So they're true to that original take. I appreciate that. But as a collector, as a Superman fan, I would appreciate a shrunk down version. But still, this is an impeccable figure and one of the absolute best from the classics, from DC Multiverse. Absolutely must have figure in your collection. Hunt this guy down. He's available on Amazon, I believe, right now for about maybe 30 bucks. We got some extra support going on that entire way from Amazon. Kid Flash, Psycho Pirate, even Spectre is available on Amazon.ca as of this recording. I just checked it out this morning. So if you need those figures, maybe save some money if you're American, go for it. Hopefully you can get shipped to Canada or shipped to America from Canada or wherever you're from. But hopefully you can get these figures at a great steal, not inflated eBay pricing. So love that Superman. And then we'll bring in our other Superman, our Action Comics Superman, which I love. I absolutely love. And there's a huge difference in height. Of course, this stand is a little bit higher, but between these two, the body bucks are so different. This was our G1 Superman, our original Superman, one of the very first figures I picked up in the entire DC Multiverse lineup back in 2020. Time flies when you're having fun. But see the difference. It is huge. It took 5 years to get to this point to create a Superman that's almost perfect. Well, of course, I know the paint. Let's not worry about the paint, but the body buck and aesthetics are virtually perfect on this body buck. We have created, McFarlane Toys has created one of the best body bucks for a superhero, hands down. Now, we've talked about Batman. Does Batman have a perfect body buck right now? I would say no, because the Nightfall body buck is way too thin in certain respects. It suits certain characters extremely well. The Hush body buck is a little bit limited on articulation and bulk. There's some things with the chest that are just too narrow. We'll see. Hopefully 2025 brings a new perfect body buck for our Batman that can be used for quite a bit. Stay tuned. We'll see what happens. But I love this Superman. The color is more contemporary. It's a dark saturated blue. The cape looks great, and it has the perfect size S logo in my opinion. Absolutely love it. Very well done. A little bit limited on articulation though, guys. Single jointed elbows, thin legs. Now, I've had a lot of comments asking, well, can you put the Rebirth arms on there since they're double jointed? It's not going to match. The paints do not match, unfortunately. This is a special kind of blue. There's something about it that really is a strong, saturated color that normal blues just don't have. And a lot of other Supermans have a flat tone. This has almost like a pearlescent kind of metallic finish to it that's really glossy, and it looks fantastic. But trying to match it up is not going to work with the Supermans that we have in our collection. So you're going to have to do some repainting either on the arms or the body incompletely if you can't find a suitable match. So just be aware of that. Letting you guys know that's what's going on. That's why I haven't seen any really Toy Surgery custom updates on that Superman. So let's bring in another Superman that I really have gone quite fond of, and that is our Justice Lord Superman. It's on the Hush body buck. Now, if you see my toy shorts, my Toy Surgery, man, I had to fix this figure. It just had the stubby head syndrome with this Hush body buck. Had a small neck peg. We swapped it out for a extended neck peg, and it's done such a world of difference on this figure. The head sculpt is really good. I really appreciate the look of it. It's grown on me. The cape, yeah, it's pretty much up there. It's it's almost like an arrogant cape. I know it sounds weird to say that, but it's like, man, my cape is so outlandish and so out there. I'm a Justice Lord Superman. Deal with it, you know? It's got that kind of feel to it. I would love a cloth wire cape on this guy, and I am contemplating some Toy Surgery on this Justice Lord Superman. I have found a Superman head sculpt that I think would suit it to a T, and it can work on another Superman that it's going to be released in 2025. I'm not sure when, but I don't want to spoil too much. Stay tuned for a Toy Surgery short regarding that. So you want to subscribe, make sure you're tuned in for it. But yeah, I like these two guys. Be interested to see this body buck blended in with our Justice Lord Superman. Would be kind of cool to see. But I think I am going to do a little bit of upgrades on this figure. The white bands on his arm, I think I might have found a perfect solution for it to make it more textured and actually more 3D. So stay tuned. We're going to be doing some extensive Toy Surgery on this guy. And then I want to bring in a couple more Supermans that I really do appreciate. And this is our Superman Returns, our swollen, beefed up Superman. Man, it's still a fun figure. I know I kind of look at it and I'm like, my God, he's just so inflated. But there is something intrinsically fun about this kind of action figure. My nephew sees this figure. He loves it. It's so big, chunky, just a fun action figure to play around with. And I think it gravitates towards kids in that sense. I appreciate it because it has a Frank Miller aesthetic. The head sculpt is really good. It's got the mullet hair, but a retooled Action Comics 1000 head sculpt. I extended the neck peg as well to give it more fluid motion because it did have a stumpy neck. And these two guys, yeah, they're pretty cool together. Again, in a more of a Metropolis blue, very bright and popping. Really fun to see these two guys together. And of course, our Superman shelf has a lot of different Supermen, which make it special, which make it different, and just add extra fun that you're not getting the same generic Superman repeat. So another figure I want to bring in, which is a standout in the DC Multiverse lineup, and a must-have, that's our Cyborg Superman. This figure, of course, you're going to have to do some Toy Surgery to really bring out the sculpted details. Now, I do have a toy short, a toy surgery short that I repainted all the silver, metallic silver, so it was in a really lackluster gray, and it didn't match the beautiful sculpted details and the really brilliant silver on his claw. So we had to do some toy surgery. But after doing that, this figure has become one of my absolute favorites. Now, it didn't make my top 10 because I had to do that toy surgery. It's the rules I set up for my top 10s. And if I have to do toy surgery, it's automatically out. And we had to do it on this figure because the silvers were just lacking. But after that, man, he looks fantastic and is definitely a stellar figure. Stay tuned, guys. We are going to be doing a special toy surgery, my top toy surgery DC Multiverse figures. That's going to be a load of fun. I'm working on that right now, putting together some of my figures, tweaking up some paints and everything else. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed. And then I want to bring in one final figure that I think is really a testament to our Superman figures and what we have been able to do. And of course, that is our Henry Cavill Superman. I really enjoy this figure. When this figure was released originally with a rubberized cape, it was my favorite Superman, and I loved it. It was just great proportions. It was big, kind of fun look, and of course the metallics. It was great. Now that we added this cloth wire cape, and this is courtesy of our Doomsday Superman 2-pack from Batman vs. Superman subline, I love this Superman. The cloth cape is fantastic. The colors on it is really nice. The only thing I would have appreciated more is a brand new Henry Cavill head sculpt. Would have been incredible to have that happen, but alas, probably not going to happen since they're kind of done with the Justice League, kind of done with the Batman vs. Superman. Man of Steel, that could happen still. We could get some Man of Steel figures, hopefully, and we get a new Henry Cavill head sculpt. If they release those figures with that one, I would really bash on McFarlane because, man, it would be your third release with the same head sculpt. Come on, guys. You're better than that. And I'm sure they will rise to the occasion and make sure we get an amazing Henry Cavill Superman head sculpt. So there you go, guys. That's our look, my thoughts and opinions on this Superman. I'm very impressed with it. I've had a load of fun taking pictures, playing around with it, putting in my teams, my Justice League, and I think this is a very well-crafted figure. This entire line has surpassed my expectations. The execution has been amazing. The paint work is extremely good. Definitely check out the Batman review. That paint looks phenomenal. The Aquaman looks really good. It's so subdued on the Flash. We just got our, I would almost say, a definitive Wally West Flash. It is so damn good. So yeah, definitely pick this up if you see it. We're building our dark side in the next video. We're going to put all those pieces together, compare them against our mega size tribute to Superpower's dark side, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care, guys.